Lonnie, who always got something to say about the same men that she claims that she doesn't want. See you, Murray. What's up? I see you now. Now, she made some comments during a conversation on The Real. Okay, let me see if I can get those comments up on the screen while I'm here. She was speaking to the panel up there, right? Because y'all know they have Amanda Seales up there, you know, the notorious liar of black liar. She lies on black men and nobody calls her out and addresses it. This is why she doesn't get along with anybody, you know. So she said this during the conversation. They were speaking about Kevin Hart and him cheating on his wife. And she's of the mind that all black men cheat and that no other race of men cheat or mess around on their wives or girlfriends, which we all know is BS. Ask Caucasian women, ask women of other groups, are they either been in relationships or know anybody who've been in relationships who the men that they're with didn't mess around or have affairs outside of those relationships. But this is the type of delusional box that these women live in. They live in such a delusional box. Now, she said, in the black community, I don't speak for the black community, or no, you don't. But I do think a lot of melanated men, they really don't know how to have true, faithful relationships. They think because they have money, because they have power, that they can treat women any kind of way. And that is something we need to work on. Now, I think her name is Adrian. Her non-melanated co-host, who I believe is dating a brother or married to one, says, I think sadly in so many cultures, that is the whole machismo thing that goes across the board. Then Lonnie comes back and says, no, it's not across the board, because what is happening is that we are still dealing with the point of slavery. And we are descendants of it. And because our families were broken up, we still do not have an idea of how to have togetherness because our families were broken up. People always go back to that. Why y'all always go back to that when y'all discussing relationships of what's going on now? You know, y'all want to bring up what happened hundreds of years ago. 200 years ago, excuse me. What happened 2 years ago? And you got Lonnie talking about we gain money and power and we misuse it. Excuse me, have you ever heard of Harvey Weinstein? Have you ever heard of these Hollywood executives who are not melanated, who take advantage of their positions? These non-melanated men in corporate America who take advantage of their position. This is why they're stepping down or getting fired from their jobs. And they're installing females into those roles. Why do you think that is? Every time I look around, there's some non-melanated CEO stepping down because of allegations. But we take advantage of the money and power that we have, you know? And they always want to go back to 200 years ago, but they don't want to address the last 50 some odd years. They don't want to address when there were intact families, because they know that by addressing that there's going to be accountability is also going to fall upon the melanated women. And we know that you got women like Lonnie Love that don't want to hear anything about female accountability because she's never known any accountability. This is why she thinks hopping over the fence is the best thing to do instead of fixing who she is, because she's obviously still hurt. She obviously is still hurt. Adrian says, from that perspective, I absolutely get that. Amanda Seales said, but also welfare reform in the 60s and 70s. This is a long, that's another show. Lonnie says, when you hear Joe Budden say he worked so hard, it's not a bad thing. He says, he's saying Kevin Hart don't want to be poor no more. He's like, let me go out here and make this money because I don't want to go back to where I was in Philly. He was using it as an excuse, and we modernized it. He don't want to go back to where he came from because then he'll lose the power. You got to understand the whole psychology behind it. Adrian Says, and working hard is affecting his relationship. So it is a, Amanda says, conundrum. Listen, what about, let me just say this. What about all the broke men that have about 8 baby mamas? They don't have any power, but they're able to get the women that they want. You got men that ain't got no power, but they're still able to get the women that they want. They're still able to have relations with the women that they want. They don't have no power. They just going around, making, whole families out here. So what about all these dudes that got all these baby mamas but ain't got a dime to their name? Credit messed up. They messed up in the game. They ain't got no power, but they're not upset because they can't get the women they want. They ain't got no power. They ain't got no money. How are they able to get those women, Lonnie? So you telling me that Kevin Hart has to be rich in order to be able to mess around on his wife? That doesn't make any sense. Shout out to Righteousness, Migto Maurice. Jada Black, check out my YouTube channel, subscribe. Okay, I'll check it out later. Appreciate it. There are men who don't have money that can get women, and there are men who do have money and can get women. Especially in the melanated community. It should never be a bunch of dudes that ain't got no, that really they don't have anything, and they're able to wife up, and they're able to have kids with as many women as they want. And let me just tell you this, those women ain't living off welfare. Those women aren't destitute and broke. You have women who work in corporate America. You have women who are managers and supervisors who are dating these type of guys. These are facts. They're dating these guys who have nothing. They don't have a dime to their name. And these women are working. They're making way more money than these guys, but they're having kids with these guys. These guys sit at home all day. Okay, well, Brittany B, hit me up with the details in the email, Brittany B. Hit me up with the details. Hold up, let me see. Because I'll be very interested to hear that. Having a podcast and all. Shout out to Illa Dre. Jay, you're keeping it 100 as always. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Now, again, this is Lonnie's opinion. This is how she lives her life. This is how she truly feels about us. So I'm going to say, you know what? She's letting us know how she truly feels. She's not lying. She's not being deceitful. She really believes this. She really believes that her problems stem from us. All the problems that she deals with, it stems from us. It stems from us. We are the problem. It is us. It is our responsibility to do better. But what about you doing better, Lonnie? What about you taking care of yourself and putting yourself in a position to get a good brother? Look at Adrian. Look at Jenny Ma. They're with melanated men. Okay? They chose to get with melanated men. Okay? But here you are on stage dissing your fellow brethren around women who said, you know what? I listen to this every day and I'm still gonna date them. So they don't care about nothing that you're saying, Lonnie, because they see you as being goofy. You are the comedian on the show. You're there to crack jokes. You're there to be the butt of the jokes. But look at the men they're with, Lonnie. And you sitting up here trying to diss these dudes as if your coworkers isn't getting dicked down by them every day or every other day, depending on when they're around each other. Jenny Ma is talking about having a kid with Jeezy. Jeezy the snowman. And I know that bothers you. I know that bothers you, Lonnie. I know that bothers you when you have to hear about how good their relationships are. You have to see Jenny Ma having Jeezy all over her social media, meeting her family. I know that hurts because you want that to be you. Because I know Jeezy probably one of those type of guys who you've always been attracted to. You know, the street dude, rapper. Listen, we as men, we're told that we have to work harder and harder to get the women that we want. It is inbred in us when we're kids. This is why a lot of guys turn to the street life. This is why they turn to the street life. This is why guys turn to playing athletics. They want the groupies. They want the money. So they know they're going to have to work hard to get there. But you have females like Lonnie that want shortcuts. She want the guys that she want to want her and her not have to put no work in. Shout out to Josh Quick. She in for a rude awakening because white men ain't even thinking about her, but her and Lizzo can carry on. We are in crazy times here, man. Like, I'm telling you, us as men, we are told ever since we are kids that we have to work hard to get what we want. We have to go out here. We have to train. We got to dribble a basketball every day. We got to get in the weight room. We have to study. You know, we have to push ourselves to get to the next level. But women want shortcuts these days, especially the women like Lonnie. They want shortcuts. There is no shortcut. I think what's happening now, I think a lot of melanated men have standards. They have more standards now than they ever have before. And I think that bothers females like Lonnie because they still think that because they have fame and they're making good money that they're still going to be able to get the guys that they want, the guys that, you know, don't really have much going on. And even those guys are rejecting Lonnie. Even those guys are, even the pro-black, you know, women are beautiful no matter what size they are rejecting her too. Because men's standards have rose a lot, I would say, over the past 5 years. Their standards have changed, and it bothers women like Lonnie because they're on the outside looking in. You have to hear your co-workers or your co-hosts talk about their relationships with melanated men, and you're sitting over there drooling because you're mad and you're feeling some type of way. So you hop on the show and you think that throwing us under the bus is going to make your situation better. No, it's not, because at the end of the day, them women still going to deal with them brothers. Okay. They still going to deal with them. And there's really nothing you can do that's going to change that. You can get angry. You can try to throw us under the bus. That's only going to make women want to deal with us even more. Do you not understand reverse psychology? When you try to tell people, don't deal with them, they're not dateable, they're going to mess around on you, you think that's going to make them want to deal with us less or deal with us more? And you know what's crazy is that you got women that will say that they're best friends. They were best friends with the guy that they dated before they got with him. Okay, so you were best friends with the guy. You didn't see him possibly being messing around on you. You didn't see that coming, or did you overlook it? I'm willing to bet that there are women like Lonnie who will overlook what a guy does just because of how he looks, his swag, and because they don't want to be alone. And then when they realize that they spent years wasting years on guys that didn't really want to be with them like that, you're going to end up just like Lonnie Love on a soapbox about how black men are this and black men are that. But she not even with one.